I need the hat. Gimme. Gimme. Odin off. Hey, it's your host, Melody Rogers with the Seed of Life Alternative Health Collective again today for your part 2 of the monkey, the bird, and the elephant, Ayurvedic personality types, and today, how you build them into your relationships. So, for those of you guys that were here last week, can you tell what energy I'm in right now? Am I a bird, a monkey, or an elephant? Well, I've got feathers, and I got some crazy giant hats on. We're going to find out today. So let me share my screen with you guys, and we can get right into our presentation for today. Okay. So we're going to do a little review of last time for those of you guys that may not have gotten to see the whole presentation. And here we are, the monkey, the bird, and the elephant. Ta-da! So these, again, are character types that I have learned to put into animal personalities. Sorry. In Ayurveda, they're typically called the Doshas, and they're Vata, Pitta, Kapha, if you know anything about the Ayurvedic Doshas. But when most people think of those, they think about them on a very physical realm. So the physical qualities of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Today we're discussing them in a different level. So I just want to go ahead and prep this with where we're actually going here today. So this is the mental levels of these doshas. So this is me, Melody Rogers, a yoga healer, certified pro healer, which means that I've been trained to do Ayurvedic coaching on a psychological level, but also a personality and habit formation level. So I do a lot of habit science here at the Seed of Life. And I do have some programs that are getting ready to start. I'm also a hair, skin, and body therapist, and I've been for over a decade. Yoga instructor, fitness professional, and your personal Ayurvedic educator. Ta-da! All right, so we talked about some core personalities last time. How do you know what your core personality is? And this is based off of what Ayurveda calls the manas prakriti, or your baseline constitution of your mind and emotions. So one thing I do want to spell out here is that these change. Your baseline is going to be your most comfortable, the one that you developed first, the one that you remember the longest, the one that you just naturally move into. But we, just like having all of the elements at our disposal in our constitution of fire, water, air, earth, and space, we also have these 3 animals that we can really look for in ourselves, and we can bring out in ourselves depending on what we need for that psychological interaction, for that relationship, for that moment in time, whatever that situation may be. So your manas prakriti is your baseline. This is the combination of these animals or elements and how they show up in us naturally. And then, of course, as we grow, we might find different pieces of ourselves that we want to bring into this. So different personalities that we want to bring out in certain scenarios, situations, or around certain people. Okay, so last time we talked a little bit about the bird, and the bird is going to be more mobile, changing, quick, sporadic, very creative, and very expansive. So think of a bird. Think of a bird not only flying, but being very communal. So, you know, being communing with other birds, being very protective of their group, and they're always focused on the whole group. We talked about the monkey as being more fast, intense, focused, hot, sharp, direct, strong, social, and adventurous, also very playful and intense. Monkeys like to be in the spotlight, but they do not like to share it. Also, they are more motivated by what's happening with them. The elephant energy is consistent, solid, sturdy, strong, nurturing, and deeply focused. So their actions are very deliberate. And this energy is typically more grounded. It's better in quiet and calm spaces, and it's very steady. It's also more focused on taking care of others instead of more of the group or the self. All right, so we talked about which one is your baseline last time, so hopefully you were able to answer that for you guys joining us. This might be just something you think about. Feel free to take a screenshot of this so that you can go back to it. And also we talked about identifying your secondaries. So what animal comes about when you're in situations with your family or your friends, when you were in high school, maybe, when you're with your coworkers or around your boss. And again, this whole webinar entitles you to a free 20-minute call with me to cover any of these topics or any other Ayurvedic health questions that you might have. Okay, so today we are going to start with how do you invoke the energy that you want? So how do you invoke the bird or the monkey or the elephant energy in your relationships or in your interactions, in your situations? So I wanted to illustrate this by telling you a little story because I love stories. So there were 3 friends, each different in their own way, but they brought balance and joy to one another. Who are these friends, you might ask? The monkey, the bird, and the elephant. At this party, one night they go to a party. And at this party, the first one to arrive is the monkey. The monkey is always the socialite. He can talk to anyone about anything. He is the entertainer, the center of attention. But when he's at the party, if he's not getting entertained enough, or maybe there's too many monkeys in the room, he gets a little bored. So the monkey has a tendency to jump from tree to tree, listening and waiting for his next entertainment, perhaps his next listener. When he meets other monkeys, he becomes the center of attention. He's the entertainer. He drinks, he dances, he's ready to roll. He's always doing the craziest things. The next to enter the party is Miss Bird. Miss Bird is a little apprehensive around a new group of people. She's always a little worried that she's going to get eaten. So she has a tendency to flit and fly and try to find other birds, more people that get her in a little bit of a sporadic, very fast-moving motion. She has a tendency to find these other birds, and when she does, she gets caught up with them together, and they move from telephone wire to areas of the room to inside to outside. They also find a tendency to talk about others, anyone other than themselves. At the party, when the bird meets the birds, a lot of times they're ready to go somewhere together. Maybe they're ready to leave the party together when they've just had a little bit too much social interaction, or the monkeys are getting a little too wild. If these birds, however, become a little overwhelmed, they're ready to go home alone. Then comes Miss Elephant, always the last to enter the party, but bringing food and gifts for all of the hosts, as she feels it is her duty to make everyone feel very comfortable. Miss Elephant moves slow and methodical and loves to sit and relax and just talk to everyone. Typically, you'll find all of the elephants gathered together in the sitting room or perhaps around a TV, but they aren't actually listening to the TV. They're more concerned with listening to each other and being supportive. Anyone that needs to talk about their family or how much fun they're having or what a wonderful day it's been, or perhaps even their troubles. At the end of the night, typically, the monkey is exhausted. He has partied his heart out and he's ready to go. Generally, before the party is ever over. Miss Bird, she has a tendency to become overwhelmed and a little ready to go home herself. At the end of the night, when the monkey is tired and Miss Bird is overwhelmed, the elephant is always there to take care of her friends and make sure they get home safely. At the end of the night, the three friends, each with their own different ways, bring balance and joy to one another. So when thinking about that story, this is where we go into your secondaries. You may find that when you walk into a party, you become the monkey because you're just not comfortable being the elephant. Or maybe you found yourself many times as being the bird. And you've realized that maybe elephant energy will help ground you and just sitting with others. What we'll find is that we all have our own tendencies. We all have our own nuances, right? We all have our own comfort levels. And as we go through these comfort levels, we also find what areas we want to work on. So the biggest question I get in these webinars and even these live seminars is, what if I want more of a certain energy? What if I want this creative, expansive bird energy of soaring above the clouds and not really worrying about what's happening below me? Or how can I get more into this like intense and fast and strong social adventurous energy? Or if I already have a lot of that and I'm not really sure how to control it, how do I provide more of a consistent, solid, slow, sturdy energy? Well, let's talk about that. So in Ayurveda, there are 3 big ways to invoke particular energies. So for instance, if we would like to invoke the monkey energy, which is that fast, intense, focused, sharp, very strong and adventurous energy, especially if we feel like we need to be brave in something. In the 3 ways, the first one is your breath. So in a lot of my classes, I teach what's called the bird breath and the elephant breath, because there's one that's going to energize you and there's one that's going to calm you down. The monkey breath is a combination of the 2, but it's a very focused and deliberate breath. So let's review that. So let's say you're walking into a situation with your boss and you need a more social, more interactive, a more fun energy to walk into it. Step number 1 is to harness your breath. And the monkey breath is a very deep inhale and a fast exhale. Deep inhale, fast exhale. Deep inhale, fast exhale. Now you may want to do this in a bathroom somewhere where someone is not tapping into your monkey energy. But if that's not available, the next one is of course going to be your thoughts. So how do you think like a monkey? Well, let's review monkeydom. Monkey is the life of the party. They're the center of attention, very charismatic, right? Very lively, very playful. So you want to invoke play. How do you invoke playful thoughts? I like to tell my clients to go back to childhood. Go back to the time where you were truly 100% unadulterated playful. A time where maybe you're playing G.I. Joes with your brother. Maybe you're playing dolls with the little girl from down the street. Maybe you're riding bikes. Go back to that time where you felt really playful and reharness those thoughts. Bind yourself with that monkey energy that is deep inside of you that maybe you've lost over time. Maybe it's no longer your baseline. Maybe it's only your baseline when you're with your friends. But when you need to invoke it, It's going back to that space. Number 3, posture. What do you notice about all of these guys? Especially the guy on the right, just chilling. The monkey posture is all about relaxing into this playful space, right? It's leaning the shoulders back. It's opening the chest. It's keeping your head up. A helpful trick, it's keeping the eyes straight ahead. This is something that I even invoke with when I'm running, for instance. If I'm having a fearful split second of, oh, this is a terrain I don't really know, and I'm starting to look down and I'm starting to feel heavy, look forward. Look at where you're headed. This is that strong, charismatic personality. Look ahead to the people that you're talking to. Not above them, not below them, not around them. Look at them. And open your chest to them. Okay, what if we want to invoke a little more of this bird energy, this communal energy, right? A lot of times I found in my coaching that people move to this more loner side of themselves. Where the bird, remember the bird energy is mobile, it's changing, it's quick. It can be a little sporadic, but it's also creative and expansive. And this is why a lot of times the bird energy can get lost, and we can get lost in it. Flying above the clouds, you imagine it. You can just get lost in this creative energy. But it's also the energy that creates inclusive socialization, communal group protection, group-centered motivation, right? It's a very light-hearted energy. So again, the bird breath. If you want to invoke this more light-hearted, expansive, creative energy, here's the breath for you. So I like to do this with a hand gesture. So just so you can see this hand gesture. Well, we'll come back to it. The bird breath. You're going to raise your hands and bring your thumb and your pointer finger and your middle finger together, just like a little bird. Yep, here we are. Go back to my video. Okay, everybody ready? You're going to bring your bird fingers together. Inhale. And as you exhale, I promise you do this in a long road trip, you're never going to fall asleep. It automatically boosts your energy, and it really creates this like creativity and expansion of this bird energy. So what's the bird posture? The bird posture is shoulders down. So we talked about the monkey, shoulders back, chest open, chest or chin up, and look straight ahead. The bird energy, shoulders are down. Remember, it's softer. Hands are open because we want that open, expansive energy. And chin can be slightly tilted down. Eyes are looking up. Eyes are always looking up for the bird energy. Let's say you're even in yoga class and you're feeling a little groggy and tired. You're not really there. Any pose that you can, take the eyes up. This is where you get that expansive, like looking to the sky energy. Okay. So breath, body posture. What's the third one? Thoughts. How do you have a bird thought? Bird thoughts are all about expansion and creativity. When we want, let's say it's an interaction with your loved one, and you really want to be open to whatever ideas they might have. Let's say it's your teenager, by the way. Hint, hint, fire tribe, starting in September. So with the bird energy, relaxing the shoulders, opening the hands, and really engaging the eyes. So drop the chin, look up into this person. So find a place that you can sit where you can be lower than them and give them this open space and authority. The thoughts. Think of a time where you were extremely creative, where you just let everything go. When you were a young child and you just got to paint all over the canvas, and that you didn't think about what was going on in the world. You didn't think about where everybody else was. Go back to that space and see if you can reconnect with that other human being on that same level. Let's paint together. Let's be birds together. Let's sit on the wire together and just look at the world and compare notes and talk about things. Chat, 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 chat. Okay, so elephant. What if you want to invoke more of the elephant energy? So let's just start off. The elephant posture is always an open chest, because elephant energy is all about the heart. It's all about being solid and consistent and sturdy and nurturing and deeply focused in someone else. So let's say this is not yours. I know growing up, empathy was not my thing, because I'm definitely more of a monkey and sometimes a bird. But the elephant energy I learned from my mom. And it's a very settled energy. So number one, you always want to make sure your feet are grounded into the earth. Okay? Your heels are down. Your pelvis is grounded into the earth so that you can really rise up from the spine. We talk about this a lot in yoga, about rooting down to rise up. So rooting down through your pelvis so that you can then lift the energy back into your heart. Remember, the bird energy we want soft. The monkey energy we want open, like really open for this throat chakra to really talk, right? To really be social. With the elephant energy, we want the heart chakra to be open. So we want this chest expansion. You might also notice that as you get into the thoughts of these animals, that your voice will change. Mine always does. So the elephant energy, press down through the hips, down through the heels, open through the heart, open through this chest area. And the eyes are always looking very nurturingly down. Like, I'm here to support you. The elephant energy, the thoughts are going to be in a place where, if it doesn't come natural to you, maybe you want to think about a time where you were truly nurtured, where your mother or your father or your grandmother, aunt, or maybe a great teacher just took you under their wing and helped you, made you feel really safe, and made you feel really solid and sturdy in that space. Let's say you're going into this with, a group of people. Go back to those thoughts of, this is when I was truly nurtured in my lifetime. This is when I truly felt my sturdiest. And maybe even think about the people that surrounded you. Because remember, each one of these animals are attracted to their own animal for particular reasons. Elephants are going to be attracted towards elephants if they need to be nurtured. Monkeys are going to be attracted towards monkeys when they need entertainment and they want to be fun and they want to dance, they want to be crazy with each other. And birds are attracted to bird energy when they need a social and communal support where they can just be open and creative and free. So, a lot of this is, how do we become the versions of ourselves that we really want in life? How can we become the parts of ourselves that we need in that exact moment? And sometimes it's hard to figure out what you need. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what others need. But take on the body posture that you really want to enter that situation. Invoke the thoughts. Oh, and I almost forgot. The elephant breath, my very favorite. This one is a very grounding breath. So again, you want to press down through the hips, open through the chest, inhale deeply, exhale deeply. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. I even have a teacher that does a trunk. Inhale, exhale. Dr. Ladd. With all of these breaths, remember that you can use the mouth or the nose, especially if you have one that's stuffy, and experiment with those two. See which one helps get you into the space that you want quicker. And all it takes is about 10 rounds of whichever breath you're going to activate. So again, let's go back one more time to our review. Okay. So in your story, who do you want to be today, this moment, or within any situation? Remember, family, friends, high school reunions. Maybe you're still in high school. Co-workers, jobs. Do you need the monkey energy? Fast, intense, focused, hot, sharp, direct, strong, social, and adventurous? The bird energy. Mobile, changing, quick, dry, sporadic, creative, and expansive. Or the elephant energy. Consistent, solid, slow, sturdy, nurturing, and deeply focused. Remember to focus on your breath, your thoughts, and your body postures. Thank you again for joining us for this short but hopefully informative webinar. Me, your host, Melody Rogers from the Sea of Life Alternative Health Collective. And for those of you guys who are on this now, please feel free to put in your votes. What energy, the hat and the feathers and the fun stuff, what energy am I invoking right now in this webinar? Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you in my future webinars. Again, remember that the Fire Tribe, which is the program for families with teens, starts September 11th, 2018. And I'm taking 5 families for that. It's a whole family deal, you and your kids. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.